How were you involved in the Keeping Tabs projects?
I was in first grade when I remember they started bringing these glass cubes into our classrooms and having us bring in the pop tabs and saying we're going to fill these, and we had like little classroom competitions for it.
Myself, I became an educator at the same time as the thoughts of building the Holocaust sculpture. I was sent to different schools to teach the Holocaust. I went to Yad Vashem, International School for Holocaust Studies, and I also went to Boston on a few trips for Facing History and Ourselves.
It was a time in our lives when we felt like we needed to leave a legacy and something meaningful for Pittsburgh and the community, and we decided to finance the project. It also gave us naming rights. So it's called the Gary and Nancy Tuckfeld Keeping Tabs sculpture.
I know that the school was working for a long time in collecting those tabs. At some point where they had so many, they had to find some place for it. The credit belongs to Mr. Walter. He deserves all the credit because he pursued it for almost eight years or more than that.
During World War II, between 60 and 80 million people died. 60 and 80 million. Taking the lower number, 60 million. 1/4 of those were military, people who were killed in battle, 15 million. That left 45 million civilians who died during World War II. 11 million of those were murdered. 6 million were Jews.
It helped us quantify the number of Jewish people and the number of people in general that were killed in the Holocaust. Like, you hear the number 6 million, and it's kind of hard to understand how many people that was, and to have this visual representation and actually be putting in each individual pop tab. That really struck home with helping to quantify the number.
I think the Keeping Tabs project was inspirational to a lot of students and helped to put a lot of what happened in perspective, like seeing the sheer number of pop tabs that are out there just kind of gives a physical tangibility to the number, 6 million, which is really empowering.
When the war started, the part of Poland where I was born was invaded by Russia. So that changed everything, because that was a communist regime, and all freedoms were gone. Everything was controlled. Everything was under the control of the Communist Party. So life has changed completely.
I started it because I wanted to have a visual representation of what 6 million looked like. I just didn't realize how difficult that would be.
I think it really makes you stop and think, especially when you look at every single block and you see the tabs laying in different directions, having different colors. It really makes you identify with the fact that they represent individuals. So when you're looking at it, it's really hard to grasp your mind about the number of people, but looking at it puts it a little bit more into perspective.
We connected from our history, from going to Israel, to going to Poland, to going to some concentration camps, talking to survivors of the Holocaust, seeing what's going on with our society today, and we just felt that it was the right time for us to make this contribution at the right time and the right place.
I felt that this was a very unique monument, unlike anything else, and it was a great contribution to the memory of the Holocaust, when it was installed in Pittsburgh in a very prominent location.
It took it down to that single individual level. And sometimes I would count them, and at first I counted them myself because I didn't trust anybody. I was going to count them myself, and then, that just wasn't going to happen. So I would count them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you put a mark down, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and you get a red one, or a green one, or one that's twisted a little different. And you would think to yourself, that's a human life. That's somebody's life. And every time I think about that, every time I think about when I would do that, I get a little bit emotional about that because it meant so much to me. And I was hoping that it meant the same thing to the kids who did it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, a mark. Each one of those was somebody's life.